Uh, Good morning, teachers and students. We are the first group of students. We want to do today is the same of the supply chain finance. Through the study of blockchains, we know that blockchains can save billions of dollars to banks. Each year, about 2.5 million scientific studies have been published. Blockchains makes the information shared easier and faster. Blockchain could revolutionize the preservation of medical records. Next, I will first introduce some disadvantages and problems of traditional supply chain finance and why blockchains can solve these problems. Um, Next page. The co-founder of Ruby Network Technology said the logic of traditional supply chain finance only solves financing problem of primary suppliers, and it is difficult to solve the financing problems of secondary, trinary, or unlevel suppliers. There are three reasons. First, it is difficult and expensive for small and medium-sized enterprise to finance. Bank laws prefers chains related to the industrial chain. Due to the lack of mortgaging, upstream and downstream enterprise in the supply chain, especially suppliers and distributors, often fell into difficult situation of difficult and expensive loans, and the financing demand is hard to meet. Second, the management of credit investigation is difficult and the cost of risk control is high. The bank or other capital side is worried about the repayment ability and the willingness of the enterprise. And the collusion between the co-enterprise and the supplier or dealer to modify the information. It needs to invest a lot of human and material resource to vary the authenticity of a transaction, which increases the additional risk control cost. Third, the use of commercial bills is limited and it is difficult to transfer. There are many restrictions on the use of commercial bills, and it is hard to transfer bonds. The bank is very cautious about the legal effect of signing the transfer notice of creditor's rights, which makes it difficult for enterprise to send back and obtain credit. Therefore, blockchain technology can solve these problems. For enterprise and financial institution sector in various supply chain links, distributed legal technology is used to allow the multiple participants to join the chain to share transaction data, receivable and payable data. At the same time, privacy protection can be achieved so that the data can only be seen by enterprise with permissions. For example, suppliers are open to financing blanks, which are allowed to check their transaction data, receivable and payable data. At the same time, this data are based on the accounts payable of co-enterprise. Next page.
I want to talk about Ddos. It's a basic and extremely effective attack method. The D is distributed and the DOS is the denial of service. DDoS is a significant threat to the internet availability that remain unmitigated despite many commercial and research efforts. So a large number of security devices that range from connected cameras to smart fridges are being connected to the Internet of Things, and they are growing processing capacity capacity allows the attack to take control of a vast amount of resources to launch Ddos. So many of these devices are insecure by design, and in many cases, impossible to be secured due to their hard and the software constraints. Next page. So why is the blockchain attacked by DDoS? Or what can hackers get after DDoS? We all know that one of the greatest advantages of blockchain technology is decentralization. This means that there's no need for any profit-making organization to be responsible for keeping blockchain and benefit from it. This is actually a good technology, I think, but therefore no other company will adopt DDoS because of no competition, and it is unwise to spend a lot of money against the whole blockchain because of personal hatred. The Ethereum, which is very similar to Bitcoin because it has more functions and forms, and it has a game to like Bitcoin. The game rules are as follows. Everyone can buy a key, and the key is actually a hash and can be computed, and then the whole server will search every 30 seconds. If only one person buys a key in one of 30, that person will get the old money. This will last for a long time. Will last many times. So as a result, a hacker made all services busy through DDoS, resulting that he was the only one who bought the key and took away a lot of money. In fact, Bitcoin also faces such problems. For example, if most nodes fall into DOS, as to say, the denial of service, the 51% attack will be much more easy. In fact, next page. So how to defend against DDoS? In fact, the blockchain has the ability to defend DDoS since accounting node. Unfortunately, there are some scholars, of course, who don't use or even open source. But there are some published papers such as someone proposed a new DOS called Ddos. And it is evident that it's blockchain DOS. So the result is that we need 5 times more computing power to defend against this attack. Now, the good news is that everyone knows that we can find ways to defend them. The best way is to find a spare service to deal with DDoS. That seems most unlikely for blockchain. But another interesting method is that more work has higher. For example, Bitcoin miners always keep a rule that they will give high propensity to a large transaction because there is something called gas. You can think of it as a tip or handling field, yeah, which will be a large part of the income source of miners. When a large number of high value transactions are forged, miners will constantly inquire. Although there is no transaction, it still causes great jam. In fact, we can require that the trader to contribute corresponding computing power at each transaction. In this way, the difficulty of the blockchain accounting will not change much, but the computing power will increase a lot. Think about everyone wants to trade with you, and you will choose someone with reputation because you need to make sure that he has the ability to pay. Of course, the actual situation will be more complicated. So that's what I want to share with you. Okay.
下一个是岳顺新同学。
Rely on human work links for procedural processing, automatic execution in the case of predetermined time and conditions, reduce manual error rates and improve efficiency. Next page. Blockchain technology can share information of participants in each link in a timely manner and ensure the accuracy of information and data, which will be fed back to financial institutions and realize the control of financial risks. Next page. It is expected that the scale of supply chain finance market will grow to 6.1 trillion yuan in 2023, which is 3.6 trillion yuan higher than the scale of traditional supply chain finance market and a significant increase in year-on-year growth. The procurement financing module based on the digitalization of real assets is mainly applied in the bulk commodity industry, such as the agent procurement model of steel, distribution division's digital transformation of steel e-commerce platform is a good example. This distribution technology proposed a digital warehouse receipt chain based on blockchain. The still physical assets in the warehouse was designed as a digital asset based on blockchain. The warehouse receipt status data was real-time connected with blockchain technology to form a digital asset, mapping with the physical warehouse asset flow. The data of the well process of warehousing adjustment, work, pledge, release, warehousing, return, and warehousing will be linked in the first time to prevent data information fraud so that the warehouse receives data can from a complete closed loop and the data can prove its incurrence. That's all. Next page.
下一个是龚一波同学。
I will talk about application of blockchain for supply chain finance. After the digitalizations of warehouse goods assets, the state of warehouse respect assets can be jointly controlled by multiple parties through cryptography technology so as to realize more flexible chattel control and derive more innovation model service. Accounts payable split to finance model based on core enterprise credit. Next page. This is the blockchain applied in the supply chain financial sense, more mature sense. Through the core enterprise and the subordinate units of the accounts payable form a temporal resistant BlockChain digital proof. In the core enterprise, internal units issued in accordance with certain rules have already approval and can hold, can break up, can flow, financing, traceability. Next page. To sum up, BlockChain can play a certain role in solving a financial authenticity risk of supply chain, but as rule needs to meet many prerequisites, and the specifics application should be considered in combination with the scenarios of financial products. We prefer to think of BlockChain as a plug-in for supply chain financial risk control, which can make an outstanding contribution to exchange the data authenticity.
Finally, I will introduce the case of blockchain. BitNation is the world's first decentralized bloodless volunteer nation. BitNation started in July 2014 and hosted the world's first blockchain marriage, birth certificate, refugee emergency ID, world citizenship, DBVN constitution, and more. The website proof of concept, including the blockchain ID and public novelty, is used by tens of thousands of BitNation citizens and embassies around the world. Ddos is an open source platform and addresses key barriers facing blockchain's adoption for access and applications. Backed by a global community of various researchers and builders. By design, Ddos embrace long-term upgrading ability, open participation, collaboration, and smart contract safety. Scenario was founded as a decentralized social media platform that wanted to build the economy of attention in order to not only reward its users for that attention, but also direct that attention to relevant context that will incentive the user to act according to the context shown. The scenario model balances the individual and the collective with a combination attention-based currencies that can be used to enforce individual will, AMPS, and an attention-based measures of the collective will, RATO, MAMPS, and the blockchain based on tokens that can be collected is used to amplify the reach of a pace of contact, while RATO automatically managing the importance of the context according to the behavior and the reputation of the users. Our group presentation is over. Thank you for listening.
I saw in the graph that there is a ESG related in the tables. Can you just a little bit explain why the ESG is involved in it?
This is a platform that is an application of blockchain for supply chain finance. So I think it's the first is delivery and the innovation that is blockchain can do it, and the second was uploading related documents And the third was confirmation. 就是 this bank will confirmation of data or approval of the receivable assignment. And fourth is the bank will give early payment for assigned receivables to the supplier. And for the third one will pay on the due date to through the invoice amount.
Yeah, thank you. It makes sense.
Oh, thank you.
That was a really good presentation, by the way. But a lot of financial institutions defend against DDoS by multiple data centers and containerized processes to meet the dynamic of scaling. Do you guys find that there are any other things that you can do to defend against?
All right, guys from Group 1, you've done a wonderful job. Really enjoyed the lectures. It's very informative, and you touched base on something that we haven't focused on during the lectures. But this is a pretty good application presentation for the attacks and finance supply chain. Thank you. Now let's move on to Group 2. You guys can share the slides and get started whenever you want to.
Okay, hello teacher. We will now give a full introduction to the presentation, then the rest of my group will answer your questions. Okay, part 1. Part 1 is what are the opportunities for solutions? The opportunity for solution is that now the country is in a critical stage of reforming and fighting corruption. And if we can use blockchain technology to design a public record system that can prevent corruption from happening, this is certainly a good opportunity. Nowadays, there are some people in China who get a lot of money in the name of the nations and then secretly misappropriate it privately, which greatly affects people's enthusiasm to donate money to help others, especially the kindness of students. And it is certainly a good opportunity if we can use blockchain technologies to design a public record system that disclosed the donations of the destinations of the nations. Part 2. Okay. How to apply blockchain technology? What benefits can the technology bring? How to use? 1. We want to take advantage of the unmodifiable nature of blockchain technology to record the initial number of donations and where they go. 2. Take advantage of the fact that blockchain technology's information is commonly recognized to make records absolutely transparent. 3. Using the blockchain technology, each modification of information will change the whole chain. To make any modification by others will be recorded. Okay. Next is turn to our group. Yang Fengming.
What benefit can the technology bring? What benefit can the technology bring? 1. It allows people to know actually how much money has been donated and where each donation has gone, gives them a great sense of accomplishment and motivates them to donate. 2. Make it allowed impossible for others to transfer the money in poverty and give away with it. 3. Make all recorded information real and more secure. 4. It is easy to know where the money has gone and who has secretly changed the real information.
Next page. Part 4. What are the risks associated with this opportunity? Next page. What ben? 1. The risk associated with opportunity is that it may be decided and then easily resisted by unsuspecting people. 2. It is easy to be imitated by others and to be prompted by others before you have designed it yourself. 3. It may be difficult to get others to trust you and support you. Next page. More of that. There is still a large limit to the throughput and the storage bandwidth of the blockchain, which may be problematic if the data is massive. Then there are eco-related issues that are addressed in school that can be affect the complement application of blockchain technique. Blockchain only record data faithful, but people are far more complex than data. And it is a suspected truth for matters related to relationship. And everyone stands for use of money definitely different. So it's impossible to take care of everyone's feelings, and with that, there can be all sorts of problems, which are the risk to be aware of. Thanks for watching.
Okay, that was a pretty concise conversation. Would anyone like to ask some questions?
Hello, this is Rosia, and I've got some questions here. And you've mentioned that there are the equity-related issues that arise in schools that can affect the application of blockchain technology. So I just feel a little bit confused. So can you guys give a more specific example to explain that? What kind of equity-related issues that would arise in this kind of application?
All right, guys from group 2, any comments?
You can just review back to your last slide. Yeah, stop.
Right,
the second, then there are the equity related issues that arise in schools. So I just want you to give a more specific example of it.
Because I think when the school wants students to donate their money for the private people, they not very want to donate it.
Oh, yeah, noted. Thank you.
Let's move on to group 3.
Honorable Iris and Lisa and my dear classmate, this is Josie. This is Josie from group 3. Today, my team members and I are going to discuss the blockchain and supply chain. So just before everything gets started, I want to share your story about Blue Bell crisis. When you listen to the story, keep 2 problems in mind. First of all, problem Blue Bell crisis is with, and the second, what is the opportunity? to be addressed for it. So in February 2015, the South California Department of Health and Environment Control isolated literates as protein sample from Bluebell Broom single-serving ice cream production from the distribution center, suggesting virus which can get you infected in blood and brain tissue. On March 2015, Bluebell Crisis reported removing from the scoped ice cream product made on the same production line from the market. The company also reported that it has shut down the whole process at Bingham, Texas, and the total 19.35 million in fine. Fortunately, the civil settlement payment constitutes the second largest ever amounts paid in resolution of the food safety matter. So it is not hard to tell from the example. When a matter outbreaks, the ability to handle instantly, especially in the food supply industry, plays a dominant role in circumstances like the outbreak is in the lack of ability to prevent this crisis. And even if it does, when the situation comes, he still has no idea but just to shut down the whole process, and which could ruin the industry completely. Meanwhile, if the company is in the face of the crisis, what is reflect on the problem? There is no way to trace them back and analyze the problem. And next, let me introduce to our team member, Ni.
Hello, you guys. This is Niling from Group 3. Here is my brief conclusion. First of all, time. Supply chain in food particularly require for more efficiency in time due to the deterioration of food. And the second, security. Each customer matters, which means any disease caused by the lack of security can cause tremendous risk to the company. Last but not least, balance. Always look ahead at what might happen and be ready to handle it. Handle the risk before it is too late. Luckily, with the help of the BlockChain, such problems can be solved efficiently.
Hello, everyone. This is Jun from Group 3. First of all, I apologize that I still don't have a camera. Okay. Here's my introduction about the help about the blockchain. So how can blockchain help? Blockchain technology can address central priorities of food safety and the protection of plant and animal resources while streamlining regulations and cutting red tape. Like the IBM Food Trust. This system uses smart contracts that are designed to automate many of the costly, time-consuming processes that slow business down. Through preset business rules and terms, important features of this system include automatically monitoring expiration dates, storage conditions, batch numbers, and factory data to reduce waste, combining them with temperature sensors to build a globally verifiable ecosystem for product quality. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Qianjuan. Now I'm going to continue the help of like the T-Food. T-Foods provides a trace solution to track a product to its origins in seconds. It makes product records quicker and enable retailers to record only the product of the specific supplier. That is important to the food industry we will talk about. Just think about it. In the many process of the supply chain, an part could have went wrong. That process includes hundreds of machines, thousands of people to manage, and thousands of animals where each of the could go wrong. With the T-Food technology, the information from each process will be updated and analyzed. In that case, the FBI can trace back the source of problem to machine and to animal, which can save money and take time tremendously. Here is the example we were talking about. Each process is made to scope and list and can be distinguished and isolated.
Last is our Cui Chengyu.
Hello, everyone. This is Cui Chengyu. After hearing all of this story, let's conclude the two benefits of the blockchain. Faster recall and containment of disease and foodborne illness. By having a shared logic to the stockholders in the chain, a blockchain traceability support form can help the CFIA import the source of trouble in a recall situation quicker, potential to a specific farm in a specific country in a specific province. The next page, reduce the financial loss of recall and the compensation of affected stockholders. Faster containment can lead to a lower likelihood of a blockade recall, reduce reactive testing, less lost revenue, and less waste product, affecting consumers, producers, and businesses. Next page.
Next page. Reducing regulatory burden on industry, information sharing and standardization. Blockchain can provide a single share view of the product's history from field to shell. Incorporating trace and trace, food safety, and freshness data that ensure a high-quality product. By integrating this data with blockchain, they become secure and trustworthy across the multiple players within the supply chain. And final, human impacts. Beyond the public health impacts of improved safety, customer anxiety about the food arises from both opcos, food product producer, and the trust in the regulatory authorities. Of course, where there's a benefit, there will be a risk. The risk of blockchain cannot be overlooked too. Here we are going to talk about the security of blockchain, security risk of blockchain. As we all know, the blockchain is a platform where digital information can be updated in no time and shared with many people. But what if the data that's shared is manipulated by the government? What if they use this kind of information to do something against us? What if they are our business competitors and they use this information to get in our side, to stab in the back? This is actually one of the questions that I asked during the class. The answer given by Professor Romeo changed my perspective completely. He said that the government are the supreme authority are given by power by us citizens. In that case, we citizens should have faith in them. That is at least we can do. Of course, there are some other risks, like the speed of transaction and public models and trade agreement change and challenges. Due to the matter of time, I will not just make it whole. And this is our last risk part, environment regulation. So this is the whole process of our presentation. Thank you.
All right, that was pretty good, well-rounded presentation. Any questions? I think I have one question in terms of the risk that you mentioned. I think during a lot of presentations, we mentioned that there is a human element in blockchain, right? It's being used by humans to perform actions. And in many of the lectures that Matt has given, there have been a lot of humanitarian non-for-profit organization at the macro social level, right? They're predicted on governing the most valuable or the most vulnerable section of the society. And there are risks there in terms of creating more choice for people who are using the blockchain system. However, that the risk that you mentioned, it's, I guess, the most straightforward one is the system itself has the vulnerability of being attacked and being integrated, having privacy issues. But I guess just keep in mind that there are also human issues when it comes to blockchain. And to solve that, that's where we have these integrated systems in terms of using hybrid blockchains, not just a decentralized system that there are multiple custodians and accountable parties who can keep an eye on each other and making sure that once there's a problem, when there's a problem, there are multiple parties that are accountable for each other. All right, I think that was a very well-rounded lecture. You guys touched on most parts of the required policies, and you also have a pretty much critical analysis portion towards your own topic. And thank you for presenting. I guess we can now move on to group 4.
Hello, everyone. The topic of our group's report today is the application of blockchain in commodity security. We will talk about challenges and opportunities, blockchain model, practical application, benefits and risks by 5 members of our group. I will talk about its challenges and opportunities. Nowadays, there are many problems such as identical fraud, counterfeit goods, and date changing. For beginners, if they buy fake goods at the price of genuine one, their rights and interests will be violated. For customers, it's hard to find the real one in the market. On the contrary, for fakers, they make a lot of profits from it. Traditional anti-counterfeiting technology has the following 3 problems. First one, anti-fake identification are too simple and easy to copy. Many brands logos are easy to copy. Second, the anti-counterfeiting process is difficult to operate. So, for example, the identification of luxury goods generally need to go to the counter for verification. Third, the reliability of anti-counterfeiting information is low. But the blockchain is decentralized, distributed, open, and transparent, and traceable. These features of blockchain can effectively solve these problems. The next speaker, Sun Yang, will elaborate on the application of blockchain.
Yeah. Hello everyone. This is Sun Yang. It's part 2 blockchain model. The blockchain model built by our group. Rectangles with rounded corners represent entities, and squares and arrows represent patterns and relationships. The relationship made up of 6 blue arrows is the blockchain body. The shopping platform is responsible for the construction and maintenance of the blockchain. Production and logistics enterprises related to the products they sell are all involved in blockchain. The blocks of blockchain are product blocks, which access information through the Internet of Things. The nodes mainly include a shopping platform node, production enterprise node, logistics node, and consumer node. ensure product information traceability and anti-counterfeiting. Customers can purchase products according to the product's information, query chain information. The government and the regulatory authorities conduct supervision through relevant regulatory mechanisms. Next page.
Next speaker, 吴双叶.
Hello, this is Wu Shangye. I will tell the typical examples. Due to the time constraints, I mainly tell the following two cases today. One is the application of Jingdong Zhicheng chain in commodity traceability and anti-counterfeiting. The other is the application of anti-financial blockchain traceability application. The first is the application of Jingdong Zhicheng chain in commodity traceability and anti-counterfeiting. The use of blockchain technology to implement traceability is not only the objective characteristic requirement of multi-subject participation in the supply chain industry and cross-space circulation, but also determined by Jingdong's special resource endowment and a core value of enterprises. Throughout the goods in the supply chain follow management characteristics, need in raw materials, brands, manufacturers, channels, retailers, logistic providers, after-sales service, third-party testing institutions, and even the corresponding government regulator to establish efficient mutual trust, security traceability information management system, and data application system. And this is the place of blockchain technology. Jingdong Zhicheng chain is Jingdong blockchain technology brain is committed to create all-round for life circle of enterprise blockchain application solutions. Let developers and enterprises to achieve one-stop planning, configuration, development, online operations, key automatic configuration and deployment blockchain network, reduce the cost of blockchain technology application, share blockchain credible value, provide reliable enterprise blockchain services. Next page. The second is the application of end financial service, the blockchain traceability. And blockchain traceability as a service is an appliance blockchain technology suitable for traceability scenarios developed based on the Ant blockchain base platform. And blockchain traceability service use blockchain and the Internet of Things technology to track and record the circulation chain of tangible goods and intangible information, and registers the commodity quality information, logistic information, quality inspection information, and other data on commodity characteristics on the blockchain, serving the information island and information flow poor transition, lack of information, transparency, and other industry issues. And blockchain traceability service for blockchain traceability demand brand enterprise users, independent software manufacturers, a special interest, provide simple
operation process, and a convenient background management, guiding its rapidly realized business need, realized through blockchain for brand credit. At the same time, combined with marketing precision and users. There are just about typical cases. Here, another student in our group tell the next section.
Next speaker, my bell.
Hello, everyone. Part 4 is about the benefit of blockchain in anti-counterfeiting traceability. Next page. The first benefit is immutability. In the blockchain, anti-counterfeiting traceability system was all the commodity information is recorded in the block, and all the changed information will have traces, and every data change will be recorded, and all the recordings can't be deleted. The second benefit is high transparency. With the help of blockchain technology, the information of commodity raw material circulation process, production process, commodity circulation process, and the marketing process will be integrated and written into the blockchain so as to realize authenticity, traceability of the whole process of one thing, one code. Use blockchain technology to digitize the information of different commodity circulation participants into the blockchain. The third benefit is high security. With the help of blockchain technologies, the information of each link from production to warehousing of goods in the integrated and written into the blockchain. Each piece of information has an independent special blockchain ID with a digital signature and the timestamp of good, providing users with good underlying data support and quality control of goods. The fourth benefit is low cost and high efficiency. The data records on the blockchain are kept confidential, and the product information is stored, transmitted, verified, and analyzed by the regulatory authorities, and transferred between different departments so as to achieve a unified vouchers, whole processes, records, and enterprises credit investigation, which can effectively solve the problems of multi-party participation, information fragmentation, and a repeated audit in the circulation process. It's all my speech. Thank you.
Next speaker, Zhang Jing.
Okay, now let me make the fifth part of the speech. Blockchain in commodity security problems encountered. When the authenticity of the information is still not granted in the field of anti-counterfeiting traceability of goods, blockchain can record and track the production process of productions, but the information recorded in every link is still artificially uploaded, and manufacturers can forge or even fabricate what they want. The authenticity of uploaded information and data is still not granted, and the substantive problems are still not solved. This is a difficult problem that needs to be studied for a long time. Then the anti-counterfeiting technology responding to the legal scores. Anti-counterfeiting of blockchain is still not perfect, and percent and counterfeiting technology basically exempts the possibility of counterfeiting. The authenticity of goods is difficult to guarantee. The imperfection of this anti-counterfeiting technology will seriously affect the effectiveness and the quality of anti-counterfeiting blockchain traceability. Finally, the actual project leading cost is high. The deployment and the implementation of blockchain technology requires the joint participation of multiple nodes, which will cause a large cost for the consumption of bandwidth, storage space, human resource, and other resources. Okay, thank you for listening.
All right, thank you guys for such a comprehensive presentation. Now it's the Q&A session. Anyone have any questions regarding the lecture?
Hi, good fall. As you mentioned in the blockchain models, we all know that the IOs and blockchain has a very strong relationship. Can you give up a brief explanation about how, why do their arrows go both ways in IOs and blockchain?
I think the relationship is cross correlation. My English is not good. I can't press. I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can repeat the question, or maybe there are other teammates who would like to share their thoughts on the problem.
Alex, can you please just like rephrase your questions?
Okay, I mean, you can give us a brief explanation between the relationship between IOs and blockchain, or give some brief examples.
That was a pretty well-rounded presentation. Thank you guys for presenting, and we can move to group 5.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to join our online meeting today. For the next 20 minutes, our team will take presentation on our company, automotive industry. And we will focus on blockchain applications in the automotive industry, high potential scenarios, the risk of obstacles to technology landing, and the prospect of large-scale adoption. First of all, let me introduce our teammate. I'm Ben, and I'm in charge of the blockchains, the background, and also the data applications, this part. Let's welcome Rosia.
Hello, everyone. This is Rosia, and the parts I'm going to present are the authenticity of data and risk management. And next, welcome Alex.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will introduce import and export logistics in automation.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to talk about our content, and we'll separate it into 4 parts: the background, the existing problems, risk management, and summary. The background. As we all know that the automotive industry is a high degree of globalization and large suppliers globally. Thus, today we are facing a significant problem, which is the opacity of supply chain has become the weakest link in the automotive industry. However, the value of blockchain to the automotive industry goes beyond providing a trusted distributed database, because the automotive industry is undergoing its most dramatic transformation in half a century. There are power batteries replacing engines and transmissions, software and data becoming more important than technical hardware, and with mobility vehicles becoming the full space of the intelligence and mobility. Blockchain can provide advanced solutions for bridging the trusted gap in the automotive industry, and we play an irreplaceable role and value in data sharing and transactions, intelligent internet connection, card wallet, and other scenarios in the future area, or intelligent and connected mobile travel. After that, and as I mentioned, that the car industry has the new transformation, right? So I would like to generalize it into 5 key trends, and each key trend we use the blockchain can hit the pain point. The first of all is the consumer behavior changes. And for the blockchain, the consumer demand for electrification and smart driving service has grown significantly. With higher digital maturity, they are willing to interact directly with automobile manufacturers and attach importance to the digital experience of each link. The second is the core industrial changes. The industry is undergoing a drastic transformation, formalizations and digitalization represented by internet connection, intelligence, electrification, and sharing, which promotes the reshaping of value chain, profit structure, and core technology stack of automobile enterprises. The third one is the product from changes. For these changes, the automobile is changing from mechanical hardware to mobile intelligent data terminal and intelligent service carrier driven by software and algorithm. Another one is by spheres of fictions. Automobile enterprises establish a new cooperative relation with the emerging enterprises with across the industry and upstream and downstream enterprises of the ecological chain. The last one is a new form of regulation with the transformation of the automobile product from to data terminal and the development of the new foreign modelization. The focus of industry supervision has changed, especially to strengthen the supervision of the data privacy and security. As I mentioned that nowadays, the vehicles industry has a lot of transformation and a lot of existing problems need us to dissolve. We generalize it into 3 problems and existing solutions. Let's welcome Rosia to introduce the first one.
All right. In the second part, Alex and I will talk about the existing problems and the solutions we discussed. So the first problem I'm going to present is the inauthenticity of vehicle data. So at the beginning, what is the inauthenticity? This word describes something fake, something ridiculous, or not genuine. So next, I'm going to talk about some phenomena about it. The first one, the source of raw materials is not transparent and consumers' right to know is not guaranteed. Actually, we don't know very clear information about the auto parts, so we are unable to ensure the quality or tell whether they are genuine or not. And also in auto finance, insurance, and also in other scenarios, there are some risks of fraud and users lack trust in the consumption. So for instance, in the sale of the used cars, some sellers make high profits by adjusting the mileage of the odometer or falsify the information of the cars. And the last one, if there are some quality problems, the affected auto parts are difficult to be identified. So I mean, the loss cannot be prevented at once. So it will cost a lot of manpower or and capital to make up for the loss. So in order to solve this problem, we believe that the existence of blockchain platform is reasonable and also necessary. And this figure on the screen, it shows the transmission of the blockchain, the transmission of information in the blockchain system. So firstly, the platform will assign a digital identity as the unique information to the auto part, and the suppliers will upload the data during the whole production, and the data will then be aggregated to the node. So if there's any problem, the affected auto parts can be identified in the public database. And this database will be verified by all the enterprises, I mean, all the upstream enterprises and downstream enterprises. So through this platform, the main factory can view the source of any auto part in the database. So it is way faster than just searching it in the email. So it can help to make decisions quickly. And next, Alex will talk about several other problems.
Okay, thank you, Rosia. Now in this session, I will focus on import and export logistic automation of the company. I will present the challenge faced in this area and how we need to use blockchain technology to solve the problems. We all know that the expanding import and export business of automobile has placed higher demands on the information technology of the logistics of automotive products. While the scope of supply chain management is expanding, companies such as auto manufacturers and partners need secure information exchange and sharing. Therefore, the integration of logistic information needs the support of a good platform to achieve the synchronizations of logistic and information flow. For the import procedures of complete vehicles and auto parts, the roles of shippers, shipping companies, freight forward, and so on in the shipping industry play a great role. The trade information of the carrier cargo involves the trade secret of several supply chains, and this player needs to establish the intercommunication of cargo information. However, our company faced some challenge in the import and export logistics of automobile cargo. I think the first one is the degree of development of logistic information is not high. And the second one is complete documentation, verification of procedures related to transportation transaction is lacking and confusing. So how can we solve this problem? Now, let's look at this diagram on the right. COSCO is China Ocean Shipping Company Limited, and SIPG is Shanghai International Ports Group. In this case, our company can cooperate with COSCO and SIPG in a pilot project on the transportation of automotive parts. And these projects aim to assist factories in the cross-border transportation of automotive parts. Through blockchain technology, the entire operational process of parts transportation can be recorded on the chain, so making the whole process of importing and releasing goods paperless. Now, we can imagine, for instance, through the blockchain platform, our company can securely exchange auto parts shipment data with our partners in real time. And SIPG can view the source of COSCO bills of lading data, prepare delivery orders for the companies and shipping agent faster, and further improve that the platform's functionality to facilitate the checking of parts. For example, the platform is able to display the location of the release terminal, appointment days, terminal release information so that shipment can better see their cargo. Now, through the appliance of blockchain technology, our companies can establish a close connection between the consignor, freight forward, and ocean carrier, simplifying the verification step and making the process of verifications, agents, payments, and consignment notes required for the process one-stop, significantly save time and labor costs and improve the efficiencies of business operation for all industry participants. Overall, the blockchain platform has helped the companies speed up the procedures, of component shipments. It simplifies the process of receiving and shipping, and the whole process is free of all kinds of paper documents, which improve the efficiency of the process so much. And this is my part. Now let's welcome Ben to introduce the next part.
And the last problem is the data applications lack security. As the data of intelligence connected vehicles becomes more and more abundant, always help to effectively apply and manage this data. The value creation of data is reflected in many aspects, including algorithm model optimization, users' experience improvement, customized auto insurance, personalized service push for consumers, user rights and interest incentive, and data sharing and transaction between cars after realizing high-level automobiles driving in the future. Do you know what is the V2X? The vehicles to everything, which is including internet, inter-vehicles, and in-vehicle mobile internet. But however, there are some questions need to facing. The security and encryption of information sharing, the invisibility and trustworthiness for peer-to-peer transactions, the fairness of peer-to-peer transactions. So our solution is just a blockchain-based, and there are some advantages of it, allowing the service provider to transact directly with consumer. Smart contract can effectively improve transaction, and security can private record for all information and transaction flows. I would like to also pick up an example, which is differentiated auto insurance. Blockchain technology synchronizes vehicles driving data, manufacturer data, and insurance company data to off-chain storage. Insurance companies can plan different prices based on the vehicle's actual mileage, driving history, and behavior. As self-driving cars become more and more common, insurance companies will also be able to prepare more policies if a car is involved in an accident. All users in the blockchain will receive the information acting as a third party to avoid claims disputes. Now let's give the time to Rosia.
Okay, thank you, Ben. So we have recognized that there are some risks in the application of blockchain technology, and we classify them into three categories. They are the business risk and technical risk and the regulatory risk. So as we all know, the blockchain technology represents a completely decentralized distributed network. And for enterprises accustomed to the centralized business model, they will lack the willingness of technology application. And in addition, some blockchain practices, in this industry, in this automotive industry, some blockchain practices will belong to the enterprise applications. So what does it mean? I mean, it focuses more on security and users' privacy. So it is contrary to the original intention of blockchain to emphasize the cooperation and sharing. So it makes the applications more difficult to be commercialized. And also the blockchain network pays a high cost. So we just take the Bitcoin blockchain as the example. It uses proof of work as a trust mechanism. So it makes its annual operation cost as high as $600 million. So it really costs a lot. And the second one is the technical risk. Specifically, the computing efficiency and response speed of blockchain cannot meet the technical requirements. So what kind of requirements it needs in the future? I think it should be real-time data processing, low latency, and high bandwidth. In addition, the matching of blockchain technology with the automotive system will involve a series of technical difficulties. So, I mean, it will cost a lot of manpower and capital investment. And the last part I want to talk about is regulatory risk. Blockchain is designed to build a completely decentralized distributed network, so it contradicts the traditional regulatory models. And currently, blockchain still lacks the legal guidance and constraints on the development. And also, the anonymity of blockchain itself makes it difficult to regulate while protecting the user's privacy. But we believe that global regulators should be encouraging and embracing blockchain rather than opposing or severely restricting it. So all in all, blockchain technology will transform business models from human-based trust to algorithm-based trust. And enterprises may face risks that they have never faced before. So to address these kind of risks, companies should consider establishing a strategy for risk management. And that brings me to the end of our presentation. And we hope that blockchain technology can be more widely used in the automotive industry.
Thank you for everyone's listening. We are all welcome any questions.
All right, thank you guys. It was pretty impressive. Any questions from the students? Okay, so I do actually have two questions. If you guys can go back to the slide where you mentioned risk management for the large companies. I think it's 2 slides down. And the last one. Right. So regarding the regulatory risk, you guys mentioned that large companies have to step up their game and make sure that they have built a very concise network that can be used. One of the things for the automotive industry is that it has a lot of players, right? There are different tiers of manufacturers. There are sellers. There are distributors who are, always trying to get the most benefit for each of these roles. And one thing I'd like to ask is that, have you guys looked into any existing automotive blockchain systems? Let's say if there's a project from Toyota, Kia, Volkswagen that are trying to do this.
Thank you for your question. Actually, we don't really mention that the real project that exists in our reality, but we know there are really a lot of suppliers for this industry, for the automotive industry, and we know for one company, and there will be more than 10,000 suppliers all around the world. And yeah, it needs, the companies need to establish a strategy for risk management. But unfortunately, we don't mention what kind of real project that exists.
For sure, and that's fine. Really, the question I mean to ask the question because I would like to, tell you guys that since there are multiple parties in the making of a car, I think we mentioned that there are different tiers of manufacturers and distributors and sellers. The problem really comes not about the risk of, the technical risk for building that code, blockchain code, and the smart contracts. And sometimes the problem also relies on having subcontractor engagement. So, in the automotive industry, there's the large, company that started it all, and they have different manufacturers and different offices in multiple countries that are taking in shipments of products, of car parts, that then they combine these parts to make a car, right? And during these processes, I think especially in China or Japan, there's a massive amount of subcontractors who pitch to the larger companies saying that, we have the factory to build what you need and we have the best price for it, right? And the large companies would usually give money and resource to these smaller pitchers so that they can make their product. Now with blockchain, the problem comes when you have to educate these subcontractors about the use of blockchain, right? If you're just one huge company asking every employee to learn this course that uses blockchain, it's fine. But when you have different subcontractors every season, every year, definitely there's a governance issue and educational issue for these employees. So that's one thing that I like to touch on. The other thing is that you mentioned this in your slides as well, that there are technical risks on the slides above. One thing that smart contract isn't really good at is the ability to change, right? Once you create something, after you've deployed it, it's really hard to get it out of the system. And with this recent shift in regulations in many countries regarding the shipments, because there's a scarcity of resources and chips, regulations changes very quickly. And so while these smart contracts change too, and it's that layer and the ability to change that a blockchain isn't really adapted to do, that you have to create an extra layer on top of the blockchain to adapt to these regulations. I think that's 2 points I was hoping that you guys could touch on, but above that, you guys have made a very good job at explaining the critical stages of using a blockchain system on the automotive industry. So, all right, I guess that concludes our presentation session for today. I'd like to really say that you guys have done a really good job at implementing the knowledge you've learned from the course. We started from the foundation of blockchain to cryptography to SaaS applications in different industries. And I feel that with your presentation, I can really see that each of you have devoted your interest on specific topics that can really show you've learned so much from this course. So for now, I'd like to invite our CEO Romeo to say a few words.
Yeah, sorry I can't turn my camera on. I'm just having some issues with my lighting, but I wanted to thank all of you for taking the course. I hope that you guys had a lot of fun learning about the blockchain and were able to get a better understanding of the blockchain, the technology, the space, some of the innovation that's sort of on the way and coming. And hopefully you guys are inspired a bit to come up with some of your own innovation in the space and maybe push it forward in the future. So look forward to that. Thank you again. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun learning in this class. Thank you.
Very good. So maybe I can take over now. I want to thank the teachers. Thank you very much for a very wonderful course, very interesting, also very inspiring. And I want to congratulate all the students and to say that the presentation were very impressive. So it was a little late to join, but it's very impressive. You've learned a lot of things. You've learned things that most of the world doesn't know, and that puts you ahead. And I want you to be aware of that. you've done very well. Also, I have to say that I like your communication skills. The presentations look very good. Your speech was very good too. So I want to congratulate everybody for a course well done. Thank you. And if we were together, I would do a round of applause to the teachers and to the students. But being distant, I would say thanks to everybody.
Right, thank you, Luis and Romeo, for your comments. I guess that concludes the end of this lecture. For the students, I really enjoyed the presentations. I hope that you guys the best in your future academic and technical endeavors. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye,
day,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.